Hello learners, welcome back to our YouTube channel of CloudEML. In today's video, we're going to see another topic of SQL in the complete SQL course playlist. And the topic for today's video is group by and having. So these are very important two major topics of SQL which are used and asked in many interview questions of SQL. So let's begin with understanding what is group by and having. So basically, these are two different clauses, but are they're used together more frequently. Okay, so first let's see what is the group by clause. The group by statement groups rows that have the same values into summary rows. So basically, it will group the data in such a way that the values, some attribute, based on some common attribute, it will group the rows. So first let's see the syntax and then we'll see an example of group by clause. So the syntax is select column names from table name where condition. Like you can either use the where condition or you can not use it based on the problem statement that you have been given. Group by column names. Okay, so let's see how it works. So this is an example of group by clause. Table here is given as this is the ID and fruit. Okay, fruit name. First ID is apple, 2 is orange, 3 is again apple, 4 is banana, and 5 is orange. So suppose you have given a problem statement that you have to find out the count. Okay, the count of each fruit that is present. So visually you can see that apple is present 2 times, banana is present 1 time, and orange is present 2 times. But how will you do it in SQL? So the answer is using the group by clause, okay, along with the count aggregate function. So what it does is, see, it will combine, it will group by the data based on this fruit column, okay. So whatever common values are there, it will group the entire data based on that value. So apple, it will group all the rows. So how many rows are there for apple fruit? 2 rows. So it will give the count as 2. Count of ID. Here you can see it is asking the count of ID, which means it will see how many IDs are present for the apple fruit. Then you have banana. Banana is present 1 time, which means it has only 1 ID. So it will give the count as 1. Similarly for orange, it will give the count as 2. Similarly, this problem can be solved for the sum. Okay, sum of ID as well. Sum means addition of ID. So what will be the answer for apple? The IDs for apple are 1 and 3. So the sum here will be 4. For banana, it will be 4 itself because only 1 ID is present. And for orange, 2 plus 5. It will give the answer as 7. So you can apply 5 aggregate functions with the group by clause. What are those aggregate functions? We'll see. Well, basically, aggregate functions are such functions that combine different values and give you a single value. So the first aggregate function is minimum. It will give you the minimum value from the resultant set. Similarly, you have maximum. So suppose you have a set of values, it will help you to find out the maximum value from them. Then you have the sum that we saw now. Then you have the average, which will give you average value. So in this case, you can see average value of apple will be 2 because the 2 IDs are 1 and 3. So the average will be 2. Similarly for banana, it will be 4 itself. For orange, it will be 3.5 or 4. Okay. And after average, you have count, which we saw in this example itself. So there are 5 SQL aggregate functions that you use with the group by clause. Okay. Now let's see certain questions, examples with our data, which we had created, library data. So the first question is display count of students having issued each book. Okay. What does that mean? So this is our SQL workbench. Click on First, before using, you have to always click on use database. First, I'll show you the table that we had created. This is our library table that we had created, as you know. And basically for this session, for this exercise, I have added another column, which is the credit score column. And I've assigned different values. How have I added the credit score column? Using the update table command, I'll show you. You can do it with your data as well. Yes, this command I've used, update library, set credit score equal to value, where serial number equal to the respective serial number value. Okay, this is how I have I've added the column of credit score. Okay, this is our table, student name, class, book name, author, issue date, return date, book number, and credit score. So what we have to find out is that there are different book names. Okay, in our table we have 3 books: Deception Point, Angels and Demons, and Wings of Fire. So we have to find out that how many number of students have issued each book, which means how many students have issued Angels and Demons, how many students have issued Deception Point, and how many students have issued Wings of Fire. So let's see how we will do that. So let's suppose we are only displaying 2 columns, which is the book name and the count of students column. So first, book name, select book name, comma, count of student underscore name from the table name, which is library, group by. Okay, now you will write group by. Here we don't need the where condition, so we will skip it. Group by book name. Okay, done. This is your query. Let's run and see the results. Okay, so you see, book name, you have the book and the count of students. Deception Point, 4 students have issued. Angels and Demons, 2 students, and Wings of Fire, 2 students as well. Now here you can change the column name. Here it is simply displaying count student name. Let's let's say count of students. Now you can run this and you see the column name has changed. Okay, so this is how you use the group by clause. Let's see another question. Find the total number of books in the library. Okay, so you simply have to find out the total number of books that are present in the library. Now the information about the count of books is present in the books table. I'll show you. Here you see number of copies. Okay, number of copies. Here they haven't mentioned in the question that you have to find out the unique number of books. So basically unique books are only 3, but we have to find out the total number of books that are present. So you will do that. Simply select some number of copies, which is the column name, from books. So you see, the total number of copies are 59. There are 59 books present in total in the library. Okay, let's move ahead with the next question. Find the maximum and average credit score for each book. Okay, you have to find out the maximum and average credit score from each book. So basically, as I informed, I have added the credit score column in this table. So you have to find out it for each book. In the first example, as we found out the count of students of each book, here we have to find out average credit score and maximum credit score for each book. So let's do that. First, we will select the book name. comma, max credit score, comma, average credit score. From library, group by. Now the group by will be done for book name because we have to find out for each book. Select this and run. Okay, so you see it is displaying the max credit score for deception point. It is 7 and average is 4.5. Okay, and similarly for the two books it has displayed. Okay, so basically this is the group by clause and you can use it in many different ways. Now let's move ahead in the session. We'll now see the having clause. Now, basically the where clause cannot be used to filter the grouped rows based on the condition. So for that purpose, we have the having clause. Basically, we have seen the where clause, which is used to group by the entire query. But, which is used to apply condition to the entire query. But if you want to apply certain condition on the grouped data, so for that, we have the having clause. We'll understand this deeply with an example. Before that, let's see the syntax. So it is similar. Just after group by, you use the having and condition. Now let's see the example. So suppose this is a table of agents where you have the agent name and the commission. Okay, this is the commission 0.13, 0.14, 0.11. First, you take the count of people who have this commission. Okay, so suppose for commission 1.5 you have the count as 4. For commission 0.11 you have the count as 2. Okay, so this is basically the count of commission for each amount of commission. What is the count? And suppose you want to filter this data that you only want the data which has a count of more than 3. Okay, so for that you will use the having clause, having count star greater than 3. So here it will only display the data which has a count of more than 3. So in this table you can see only 0.15 has a count of 4, which is more than 3. So it will display only 4. Here it will display only this row. So this is how you use the having clause. Let's solve certain questions related to it. So display the book having the highest total credit score. Okay, so you have to display the book having the highest total credit score. So for total credit score, basically you will use the sum function. So for that, select book name, comma sum of credit score because you want the total credit score and that to the highest. From library, then you have group by. Now here also you will group by based on the book name, having. Now in having, for this you have to first know that what are the different sum of credit score. Then only you can give certain condition. Correct? So for that, first let's run this and then we will understand which has the maximum. The highest credit score is by deception point. You see it is 18. So now we can give the having. See, there are other ways also to do this by using nested queries. But at this stage, we haven't seen nested queries yet. Okay, so we will only use a simple having method. So having equal to 18. Okay, now let's run this. So see, it has displayed the book name which has the highest total credit score, which is the deception point. Okay, now let's solve another one. Display the books having total credit score of greater than 10. Okay, this is similar. Just the having clause will change. Instead of equal to 18, what we will use? We will use greater than 10. All the other things will remain the same. So there is only one which has greater than 10, which is deception point only. Let's see, greater than equal to 10. So in this case, there are two books. Angels and Demons has a total credit score of 10. Okay, so this is the syntax for the having clause. Next, find the book that has been issued by more than 3 students. Now, how you will do this? First, we will calculate the count of books that has been issued by each student. So, book name, comma, count, student name, from library, group by book name, okay, because we want the data for each book. Having. Now in the having, you will use count greater than 3. Okay, so let's see which book has been issued by more than 3 students. So the book is Deception Point. It has been issued by 4 students. Okay, so I hope you have understood this having group by and having clause. You can solve more and more questions of the similar type so that you get a thorough idea of how it works. So thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, you can share it with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then you can subscribe. Thank you so much. We'll meet in the next video.